Contrast Chloe's well put out position, well through line with the same question about is the country in a fragile position with Brooke. Because what we want to actually now know is this is what a political panel is about. Okay, so the left sets a very interesting, well thought out, well argued position on this. You don't have to agree with her if you're not sitting in the same camp, but you know why she believes what she believes. And then Brooke has a crack.
Oh, look, well, I think the state of New Zealand is fragile. I agree with the Prime Minister, and it's because, we've been under Labour for the last few years, and they've been proving to get a lot less value for spending a lot more money. But we've also been seeing, as Chloe said, we've been seeing division. That's not caused by this government, that's the previous government. And what we're wanting to do is turn...
I want to stop that right there. This has got about 60 seconds to go, but listen, I thought about this today and I was like, okay, I do try and be an honest actor and try and be fair. There was division under the previous government. And the division under the previous government in society was anti-vaxxers, anti-mandate, and the rest. Right? Mm. So there was division. Now, under this government, it's anti-vaxxers, anti-mandate, racists against the rest. So actually, there was division under the last government. I agree with Brooke on that. But there is actually more division now than there was under the last government. The treaty referendum, that bill there, agree or disagree with it, you cannot argue the point that it's causing division. Even if you think that the ACT party side is right, it's still causing division. You can see division from the other side. You may not agree with it, but it is. So I don't believe anyone can stand or sit there and say, well, all this division is caused from the last government. What we've seen at Waitangi, what we've seen at Ratana, what we've seen with the Māori Party putting together that protest, there is another new element that's been added to the division. So, yeah, this government's got something to answer for as well. Although, I guess, Chewy, we would say the division from the last government is pretty unfounded. I would, because I think people were fooled and suck it in. But then maybe that's because it's my side who are not the ones dividing off. I don't know. So let's just keep it what it is. Anti-vaxxers, anti-mandate, and this time around, another whole group added in based around Waitangi issues. You go, True, you
go. I want to say that these guys are also being incredibly naive in basically suggesting that under Labour there was division and now Labour's not there, so the division's gone away. Those people that were like these parties here, the majority, Labour and ACT, they all supported the mandates.
Yeah,
they all agreed with that. In that moment. And these guys, the anti-vaxxers, anti-mandate crew, they remember that. So they're anti-government, whoever that government is.
Yeah.
Like there's a chunk of them that think Winston's the second coming of Christ. They don't realize that he was around when the first Christ was there. He just carried on. But even then, we've discussed it. He's going to leave those guys for dust at the first possible moment it's convenient.
Yep.
So yeah, these guys are not solving that division, and I think they are blowing it up for their own political reasons.
Yep.
And when it doesn't change, when the division is still there, they create more divisions as people circle around and support the communities that they're going after.
Yep.
Then that's on them.
Yeah, 100%. All right, let's keep going. So I think it's pretty clear that there's always division under some governments, but this government, there's even more still.
Name a time.
We've been seeing division. That's not caused by this government. That's the previous government. What we're wanting to do is turn things around. We can't change the past, but we can change the future. So let's look at how we can have more business confidence. Let's look at how we can have more kids turning up to school, getting educated, and actually coming out with a base of knowledge that will set them up for the future. How do we make sure that our streets are safer again? All of the things that Chloe's pointed.
You mentioned that division was from the previous government. I mean, come on, you look at the Treaty of Waitangi, you must be able to read the room in terms of how the nation is feeling towards that bill by your party.
I am reading the room. What I've been hearing going
It's
up and
just
down
a
New
different
Zealand,
room.
Talking to people in the community,
You're right.
is that they've
It's a
felt
different
like
room.
there's been a lot of division forced on them by the government, but they've never had a say on it. And that's all that Act
We
is.
also got to remember that this thing about having a say on it is such horse shit most of the time, because there's dozens of other policies and parts of government that we never have a say in, and ACT is perfectly happy for us not having a say in. It's just because this feeds that race-based kind of division and gets their supporters to dip their hands in their pockets. So, yeah. I'll keep going, Joey. Is that all right?
Yeah, go for it.
Been wanting from the Treaty Principles Bill is for people to actually have an open conversation about what does the future of Te Tiriti mean in a modern multi-ethnic liberal democracy. Is it one where everybody is equal, has the same rights and duties, or one where we say that people based on their ancestry have different rights? I know which one I hear.
I still haven't heard the list of all these different rights that people have based on their ancestry. We keep hearing it from leaders, but I haven't actually heard what these rights are that they've got based on their ancestry. But, maybe we'll find out. Maybe.
A lot in the community, and that's saying I want my kid to be treated the same as any other kid in a classroom or any other kid when they're going for a job interview. I think that's really important, but we should at least have the right to talk about it without being labelled bad names. That's what I hear a lot in the community. But
So there you go. Don't recall bad names.
Wow.
I really would love to dig deeper into this. I'd love to speak to one of these people about when they say things like, have the same opportunity for getting a job. Where is all these examples of all these people not getting jobs because of where they were born? The same opportunities at school, the same rights. Where are all these examples? I mean, if you're going to go to something like, Māori seats, and you got to first understand what Māori seats were. Māori seats were put in place to subjugate Māori when there was too many of them who, if they had had the vote, they would have actually been the ones making the government back in the earliest of days. So you can't use the Māori seat as a way to subjugate Māori, and then all of a sudden when it doesn't suit you, you think it's working against you to then get rid of them. You don't have two wins. Sorry, you had one win back 150 years ago when you used it to get in a more colonial type government system, a Westminster system. You don't get to flick it off now because it seems inconvenient to you. So what are these rights that Māori have? Or she didn't even say Māori. She said based on your ancestry that no one else has got. I'm still unclear.
It's just nonsense. I don't like the fact that, again, ACT is really good at this. They like to wrap up the horrible shit that they're doing in words that they've taken from other movements. Okay, so multicultural, big tick there. We like multicultural. What I don't like about ACT talking about multicultural is that they are weaponizing people from other parts of the world against Māori.
Yeah.
That their messaging there is the treaty doesn't include you. So that's bad, and we should get rid of it.